All right, thought I'd do a quick little build update. I'm sure nobody has seen this one before, but it is actually the M911 8x6 with the M747 semi trailer from Meng. Um, Here we got the main truck itself, and as you can see, it's raw plastic right now. This winch um, assembly isn't glued down, make it a little easier, and this is just kind of fit on there. I put it on so that the bracket would hold it, but yeah, you can see the overall chassis. There's a little bit of photo etch and stuff. Um, the fifth wheel actually does have some movement and stuff like that to account for the trailer load. I did model the lift axle in the lowered position because the to build an Abrams to put on the tank, so I wanted to replicate a heavy load. As you can see, this model, it does have, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show very well single-handed, but the suspension has just a little bit of movement on the rear end. Yeah, you can kind of see it moving there. And then the front steering does work, and I thought it was kind of clever the way they attached the steering arm. It just kind of sits loosely above it. You can probably see it right by my fingertip to kind of do that without tying it all together. Yeah, these winch drums are actually separate because they have like a wire spool already fit, so they'll need to be painted. And then when this is all painted, I'll put it on there. I started on the cab. Figured that'd be the best place to start as far as paint. So since there's no engine detail, I painted the inside of the hood black. That way, if you can see anything in there, it's kind of muted out. It's kind of cool because the front grille is a photo etch piece. It was kind of a pain to bend and get it stuck in place and everything, but seems to be good. Of course, I'll have to add primer. The kit included window masking, which is kind of nice for the inside and outside. Here you can kind of see my lighting will cooperate. Some of the start of the interior details, so I've got like the visors up there. I painted it. Oh, I got it sitting right here. So it calls for a sky green color. So I'm using this 127 cockpit color Nakajima Mr. Hobby for that. From the references I found, that seems to be the most accurate color. But the actual one that Meng calls for is not made anymore, apparently. Excuse me. So yeah, there's that. And then I have the back part of the cab, and you can kind of see that sky green color there. The floor was done with like a rubber. The seats are like a glossy black, like a plastic. I've got the pedals down in there. I've got to put the steering column and like the shifter in there yet, as well as a fire extinguisher, and ooh, the interior will more or less be done. I have the dashboard here. I gotta put another clear coat, flat on that. But it's kind of cool because all of the gauges were separate decals, but none of it's legible. Yeah, that's it for the truck itself. And the little container there, I do have some parts for the rear suspension. Not the rear suspension, the trailer suspension. And then here is the trailer itself. I've more or less completed assembly of this. It's kind of cool because the ramps actually can be folded up. The suspension on this is actually much more movable. Kind of cool because they're linked together down in there. There's some photo etch detail and stuff. Yeah, up here there's quite a bit. It was very fiddly putting together the landing gear here. You can either put it down or up, and then I glued it. The brackets for all of it I don't know how well the camera's going to pick that up, are all photo etch that you have to bend and stick on and get it all lined up. And then to actually hold the pad, there's a tiny pin you got to get in there, and it was very, this one I accidentally did get some glue, so it doesn't move very well, but it won't matter the other side. See, it moves a lot more freely. Some nice detail up in there. There's another piece of photo etch that eventually goes there, and I think another over here that covers some of the like towing accessories and stuff. And you can see like the cable guides here for the winch system, and I assume these then go up to the truck to the winch station. Where did I put it? To here, to the drums. Would make sense to me. Yeah, like I said, I don't have all the suspension on here. There's like airbags that sit here, and then the other two axles sit on top of that. And I figured as the construction is like this would make sense as far as doing the paint, and then I can paint those axles separately and then stick them on just to make it a little easier. I just think I've decided that since this was in operation over quite a few years, it's probably still active in the with the Army. But I'm gonna do the truck in just the standard like desert tan color that they use nowadays, because there's too much intricacies I think with the truck to try and do anything else. And then with the trailer, the references I found, I want to do the tri-color NATO scheme, you know, the brown, the black, and the green. But from what I've seen, most of the trailer is just going to be solid green, and then I think it's like up the support arm here and the deck kind of get the tricolor, and below it's all like one color. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of mix and match the desert tan and the NATO scheme on this. Like I said, at some point I want to build, I've got two different Ryefield Abrams kits, and I want to build one of them and put it on the trailer here as a load. But I want to get a piece of wood and then build an acrylic display case around this, because I think it'll be too much breakable detail. I don't want to deal with the dust, and it's too big to fit anywhere really where I can protect it. But anyways, quick little update from me. Have a good one, y'all.